The Nigerian exchange opens the market Monday, the first trading day of the week, on a bullish note by 0.29% to close at 53,157.83 basis points. And now, the market on Tuesday went negative as the all-share index depreciated by 0.12% to close at 54,299.76. Then if you also look at the all-share index on Wednesday, it went positive by 0.23%, closing above 54,000 psychological mark there, while you have the year-to-date returning to around 5.48% in the week. Well, on Thursday, you also have the market, going the same, the south direction now with about 0.12%. And then when you look at the market capitalization as well, declining by about 36 billion naira on that particular Thursday. But look at today, the market, of course, closed on Friday on a bearish note by 0.1%, closing at 54,327.30 basis point. Well, I think on that note, that's where we kick our conversation from on the program this weekend. But Ambrose, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And as usual, so where do we start from? I'm sure the market was a little bit mixed in the week, but of course the bull eventually dominated the market.
Actually, I would say that the market is, is kind of side trending or ranging, and as a lot of what profit taken from, the previous gain made in the market, and it's expected. And for all these, we have seen the market making almost 6 week up. Slowing down this week for me is not something bad. Well, market is just flat. If I say that language, the market is flat. Also, we saw improved volume for the week, and at the same time, as we are entering closer and closer to see those big names, the big cap stock releasing their results. Yes, MTN have started with a good number. We saw the one that came from Geregu. These are audited account that we've seen so far. But I believe that by next week, seeing more of the account, it will change the face of the market. But this week, I'll present an opportunity for those really income investor. Traders might be so let's wait and see. But for those income investor, when you see a stock correcting or market correcting in this kind of environment where we are already at the peak of the earnings, which I always say, it tells you that those companies that are yet to release the result, also even those that have released their unaudited, you have seen their performance, giving you an insight to what's likely to happen at the end of the day. This is time for you to take position. That's why when I saw the market side trending, I was happy. I say, good. But the good is that market have broken out the last resistance level of 54,290 now above it. That means that 54,290 now become the support level now for the market. For me, it's a good one. That is, the market is very, very strong. And also, if you look at momentum, I tell you that if you are in this market, look at where the price is going. Look at the force that is behind the movement. The force is still very, very strong. For that, nobody should panic. Yes, we're coming closer to the election, but I'll tell you that it's coincident that this is the election period. And at the same time,
I'm just eager to know where the force is coming from. Of course, we all know that each time we expect, the financial report of companies, releasing their report into the market, that becomes like a catalyst or a booster or some sort.
Yeah.
But are you referring to that alone, or are there other supports psychologically that probably pulling the market upward?
The good thing is that any season anywhere in the world is the time you see kind of a new energy in the market,
Yes.
because of what numbers are coming, investors are being rewarded for what, for their faith, for their confidence in the companies. For that, everyone want to partake in that cake. It's the cake that they are sharing for shareholders, and you want to be part of it. You need to invest in that company. And at the same time, what is happening again is that if you look at the recent disconnection between the MPR and what is happening in the treasury market as we speak now, there's a disconnection. If that continue, then it means that it's the public, which was the private sector, will suffer from the interest hike. Because if for investors who are seeing that as rate is going up in terms of MPR, while the treasury bill price is rate or yield is coming down, it tells that the government is not ready to borrow at a high cost, because already they have which cost to finance or to manage the debt already. If that's a strategy for them not to borrow at a high cost, then that's why they're beginning. Fine, but the good is that there's still liquidity. Even at this low rate, we are seeing that they have been oversubscribed. It tells that these funds are going to find somewhere. If over subscription, that means the remaining funds will go to somewhere. And I believe that equity market is where they should be resting now, because in the equity market, the average dividend yield for the market has been between 5 to 6% yield for. That means if for a whole 91 days, you're expected to see 0.1% from the Treasury bill, for 182 days, I always say 0.3, and for a whole year 2.24. I think in equity market you can get 4%, 6%, 8%. For all those high caps, you're saying that their dividend is low. It's around 4% to 5%. For me, that means this real fund will be going. Anyway, for now, we see from. But also, if you look at what we call money flow index and analysis, it's still up around the 86, 82, 83. Then the fund is still entering. I mean, this strong fund is also coming from those that I think are range of what this correction was saw this week now to buy ahead of what next week, because early next week or late next week, just in the what we call early filers will start releasing their what their full year result audited, and corporate action that also change the face of the market. That's why as we're coming closer to the election, we are hoping that we'll get it right this time. And once we get it right again, a winner is declared at the end of the day. That will be another boost for the market. But we might not be kind of expecting the foreigners to just jump in. But when they say that we've gotten it right from the election, that means try to reset the economy already. What the CBN is doing today, whether there is a hiccup here and there, fine, we know that it's not easy, but that's another major step to kind of reset the economy if they get it right. I believe that once we get our election right again, I see that a whole thing come for us to put the in the right direction.
Let me just quickly come in. I know you talked about the fact that it's a bit of migration of funds from the fixed income market or the debt market into the equities market. Now, and perhaps maybe because of the body language of the government, like you said, not to borrow more. But again, if you look and flip the other way, the body language suggests that the government will still have to borrow. So I'm wondering how long will this last, because it probably may not last, because there is deficit to fund, to finance. I mean, the government also has a huge deficit to cover. So how do you think they will cover this gap without borrowing?
No, naturally, if you look at the deficit budget we have already, it shows that we're going to borrow. And before this 2023 budget, we're already in debt, and high cost of serving that debt is high. This one coming again to borrow is addition. I know that with the recent downgrade we had from Moody's and S&P, we can't rush to approach any international for borrowing, because of that weight we're going to pay from our nose. If you want to look inward, but for investors that are in the equity market, for this short time, you can take advantage of what is happening in the market. I could just say, might flip to the next time, but for 5 consecutive times, we have seen rate in the trading market decline for good or 5 options. For me, it signals something. But as you just said, I believe that yes, because you want to borrow, you might get bought. Also, you have to be stylish, because one, if you are borrowing and you're able to service a problem, and also confident.
And the reason why I asked that question is because since they may not even go, just because of what you said, since they are not going international to borrow this time, they might want to make use of approach the local market, and of course, which is the capital market is there for them, to, like the treasury bills and all of that, using those instruments to borrow locally, and that again is more like the government playing the major role. I mean, we are all aware that the government is the major player in the debt market.
Well, actually, if you look at it this way, this government has less than 4 months to leave this administration has to go. But one thing is that if what we are hearing from all the candidates that are contesting for presidency, they have an idea how to work. I don't believe that as they are jumping into office, they start borrowing. You need to come with a plan, what to do. Some are saying that some assets will go, and that's the way to. Some are saying not only rushing to borrow to solve the problem. Which assets is more important that we are not benefit from as a federal government? Those assets should be given to what? To give it to the private sector to make effect use of it, and we make money there. This time you can change from somewhere. Someone said about the $10 billion. You know what the $10 billion mean in Nigeria? That's about almost 8 to trillions. For me, that's a big money. If it comes and start changing, investing in different, that was so. But I believe that the incoming government should sit up really, because we need to put Nigeria right in terms of economic set, and also politically we need to reform. A lot of restructures will come so that we start to manage our resources. Where we need to block, we need to block more. Where we don't need the money, there we need to. I believe that this election and also the work CBN is doing is leading us gradually there, but it's not because of the way people are shouting, because of want to take it on to political thing. But ideally, the move from central bank is a plus for the economy if we get it right. But I believe that already we have seen signs of it. I tell you, you can't check the way dollar has moved for this way. Right. So these days has been a bit stable, and also because money to buy the dollar is not there. They are still have to put it. I believe that one way or the other, this is a good policy But between now and before the election, I know that if CBN can just some other courage for me, like just say release money to the public. We have collected money from them. Actually, that's why there is crisis of fund. Release fund to them, let them have fund. Then by 15th or 15th or next week, when it's able to put it to where the deadline and all stuff, people are starting access to money. Before the election, they will ease in the economy before things start changing. Okay,
let's wrap it up on the activities in the market this week. Yes, of course, the market closed negative by 0.1% earlier today, and I mean, so is that a good footing? How do you see into next week? What is likely to happen? Is it a good sign of what is going to come on? The market is going to build on this. Perhaps this may mark the beginning of the bearish, trend that it's likely expected in the market. I mean, by investors.
Naturally, once we are coming closer to the election, either a week to the election or 2 weeks, and then a week to we might see cautious trading, in the market. But I tell you, for those that are dividend investor, income investor, not like cautious trading. Because you know that this election will come, even though that will get Nigeria will still be in Nigeria. What do you do for your dividend? It's personal like me, people like me that want to trade. We need a sentiment, positive sentiment. We need some, push in the market. We slow down and say, okay. But if I see a stock that pull back, it's time for you to jump to that. So I know that really after the election, we get it right. We'll have what we call post-election rally that will come. For me, I feel that next week what will shape them. Why? But we expect to see macroeconomic data, some of consumer price index for the month of January. Also, we expect to see stock like your cap, United Capital, Nigeria Brewery, some Dangote Cement, Zenith Bank, Access Bank to start releasing their account. If this number hit the market, I tell you, you put energy in the market. Yeah, put energy. For me, I believe that for those that are fearful, will be standing on the side view. But we that are really traders, what can we take advantage of this thing? That's why, as investor or trader, you don't wait to see the result. People that are pushing earlier ahead of these numbers. When it comes, market react to it, and I believe that because of liquidity, we are saying. That's excess liquidity in the financial market. They say, "Oh, we're going to trickle down to equity space."